I didn't get calmer by suppressing emotions. I just stopped acting on them. Real Stoicism is about being completely enveloped in an emotion, but still deciding to be grounded and move forward, being gentle without breaking anything. It's deciding is this emotion worth acting on? Emotions are especially important and pertinent for survival situations. You're out somewhere hiking and you see your friend start to get attacked by an animal. And you get angry. You might get scared too, which is fine, but you choose which to fuel you. And you use that fuel, whether it be fear, whether it be anger, to attack that animal. The mother that lifted the several-ton car off of her child, yes, was it mostly adrenaline that helped her? Of course. But where did that adrenaline come from? It came from an emotion. That came from fear of her child dying, from anger of that happening, that situation. She used her emotions in a very controlled way. The other thing is we have to build up a resilience. I think there is this skill that doesn't really have a word for it. If anything, it would be emotional regulation, but I don't think that fully describes it. We need to be able to have a high threshold between what we feel inside and what we let out. That is what Stoicism is. It's being selective about our emotions within, of what to let out. Think about a child. A child, when their popsicle breaks in half, what do? They cry, they scream, they shout. They have no threshold of emotional regulation. And some adults, maybe not in the exact same situation, but basically the adult version of that still happens. Someone in another car passes you and they flip you off and they get all bent out of shape, screaming and shouting, "That motherfucker!" You need to learn to regulate that. This is something that needs to be strengthened and actually actively trained. It's not something that just develops. It needs to be practiced. And it's practiced by going through hard shit and intentionally reacting in a positive, not necessarily positive, but in a stoic way. Stoicism isn't about completely shutting off the emotion. You're allowed to feel it. You're allowed to process it. And sometimes that takes time. But the immediate reaction, it's a skill to not immediately react on emotions. And the better that you can regulate your emotions, the better it will help you and the better that you will feel. The better your life will become. Because you'll be able to do things without flying off the handle. You won't feel as, if you process your emotions, you won't feel as negatively emotional. Meaning your quality of life will feel better. Even the act of being stoic lowers the feelings because you get used to that. Because you're putting yourself through things to build that stoicism. Taking cold showers. You know what happened with me? I was 17 and I had been taking cold showers for a couple months beforehand. I've been really focusing on self-improvement and building that resilience within. What I did was I kept building that resilience. When bad things would come up, I would kind of shrug it off and say, it is what it is. And I would not fly off the handle as much. Even if I didn't really before as greatly, there was a noticeable shift. And one day, I had sliced open my thumb with a utility knife. My immediate reaction was, ow. My immediate reaction was that, okay, that was, well, obviously I was a bit frightened at first. And then I'm like, well, you know what? Okay, this is what happened. Let me go get stitched up. That's it. I don't know. My thumb's open. Nothing I can really do about that. And I was fine. Thumb's all good. What would have flying off the handle have served me? It wouldn't have served me any. Especially if you're trying to lead your own life. If you fly off the handle every time something happens, you're not going to have a very clean path. It's going to be full of just noise. You're not going to be able to get from point A to point B in a very clean, direct manner. There are things waiting around the corner at all times to damper your mood. It's fine. It's part of life. Don't worry about it. It'll come, and you can deal with them. That's the mindset that you should have. We need to think about our emotions before we act on them, at least the very intense ones. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, you can watch the full version right here.